Starting receiving your content, your audience will see you in a moment. You are live. The internet can totally see you now. To stop, use your encoder. Okay. Great. Alrighty. Well, here I am. I got nobody watching, but here I am. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna wait till somebody shows up before I start. Oh my god, somebody's here already. Wow. Mariano Glass. Hello from Germany. Hello, Mariano. Hey, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I need to know if everything's cool with this. I don't really trust myself with the technology here. SoulDrift7. Hey, SoulDrift, what is up, dude? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. I think this is the first time that I've seen you on one of my live streams. It's pretty cool. Can you hear me? Loud and clear. Awesome. All right. Well, hey. Great. I'm glad you guys are here. All right. So let me break out the beer here, and I'll show you guys what that's all about. Okay. Cool. So this is what I have for you guys today. It's a Korean beer. It's called Hite. It says Hite extra cold ice point filtration system. It looks like that. There's the label on the neck of the bottle, and here is there you go, ice point filtration system. There's the bottle cap right there. So I've had this Korean beer before, back in the United States actually. I had it at a Chinese restaurant where me and my mom and brother used to eat. And it was good, if I recall correctly. It was okay, and like not the greatest beer in the world, but just a good standard type lager. So yeah, let me crack this baby open and pour it, and then I'll take a swig. Where's my? I had my keys here a second ago. I got to use my keys to open this. All right, hold on, guys. Let me take you with me here. Okay. All right, I got to use my keys because I literally don't have a bottle opener. Unfortunately, anymore. I had a bottle opener keychain thing before, but it like totally broke, and now I'm kind of shit out of luck. So here, I'm just gonna try to use this key to like jimmy off the what do you call it? Bottle cap. Look at me, I can't even talk right now. Okay, here. The struggle begins. Yeah. Almost there. Just a second. Almost there. Nearly there. This is a real pain in the butt when you don't have a real bottle cap opener. Almost. Shit. Almost there, guys, I promise. I'm such an idiot. Got it. Yay! Alright, the beer is open. Okay, cool. The struggle is over. The beer is open. I got that baby off. Just pried it off with the key on my keychain there. Cool. Mariano says it's easier with the end of a fork. Yeah, it probably would have been, right? Okay, cool. So here, let me pour this bad boy. This is Hite Korean beer from South Korea. There we go. Coming out the way I thought it would. Oop, let's stop there. I don't want to get foam on the computer here. That would be shit out of luck if that happened. Okay, there we go. So, I don't know if you guys could see that or not, but yeah, this is, well, I can't really tip it too much, but yeah, Korean beer, Hite. Okay, that's what I remembered. It's not fantastic, but it is a good beer nonetheless. on a hot day, not bad. It'll hit the spot. Not a lot of flavor. It's just kind of a lager, but whatever. Anyway, Hite beer. Give it a try. Maybe you'll like it. Alright, let me check the stream here and see what y'all are saying. And maybe I'll start answering some of those questions that I got. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Soul says, glad I could make it. I'm glad you could make it. And let's see here. I guess they changed the bottle. I guess you're talking about the Hite bottle. Alright, well, hey, if it's okay with you guys, then I think I'm going to start with the Q&A. I asked people to give me some questions for the live stream, and I want to go ahead and answer those. So, yeah, let me know. Do you guys want to start the Q&A? You want to get that started? Got 4 people watching, by the way. That's pretty cool. I feel blessed just to get that. I wonder if I'll get Leviathan coming on here later. That would be pretty sweet. Always love when Leviathan comes on. He's a good guy. Good long-time viewer of mine. Let's see here. Soldier says, well, the Hite bottles I've seen before were green. Blast away, it's your show. Okay, yeah, alright, cool. I will do then. So I got a number of different questions from people, and I think I'm going to start with this one from, his name is HVAC Genius, and he wrote that, have been doing research online, thinking about retiring in Thailand. Looks as cost of living is less in Thailand versus the USA. A friend suggested that I look into Taiwan versus Thailand. Started researching and ran across your channel. And so basically what I would say to Mr. HVAC Genius would be this. Look, my concern with that is related to getting to a visa because you're an American. So I worry about you getting a visa to stay here in Taiwan. I don't know for sure because I'm not like a government minister or like an immigration lawyer. But I don't think Taiwan has a retirement visa. I don't think that's like a thing that exists here. And so I really only know of like one foreign retiree here. And he's married to a local, so that's how he's able to stay here as far as I'm aware. One thing that you could do though is you could come here and work for maybe 5 to 6 years. And then you could get what's called an APRC, which is basically like permanent residency. And then just hang out, and then you could live off your savings and like whatever you get from the US government in the way of like Social Security benefits. So that's my answer to HVAC Genius as an American. And I got another question about retirement. But this question comes from Kevin N, who says, "Hey Brian, Kevin N, what is up, dude? I'm perfect timing. I'm getting to your question right now." Kevin N says, "I'd like to ask for your opinion on one topic. Is Taiwan a good place for retirement given the cost of living? There is lower than most, if not all, North American cities. Thanks, buddy." And then he also included this. He said, "Cover topics like medical, as this is an important issue for retirees." So, Kevin, basically, I'm going to repeat to you what I said already to Mr. HVAC Genius. If you don't have Taiwanese citizenship, if you don't have a passport and a national Taiwanese ID card, then I worry about you getting a visa to stay here as a retiree, because like I said before, I don't think a retirement visa exists here. I don't think they have that as a category yet. Maybe they could get that in the future, but I don't know if they have it yet. If you are a Taiwanese citizen, then yeah, I don't see why Taiwan wouldn't be a perfect place to retire. I mean, you could bring whatever money that you made in the United States or Canada, and you could bring it over here and put it in the bank and basically live off that savings. And then since you're a citizen, you could get a health card, and you could be entitled to the same fantastic NHI that we all enjoy here in Taiwan. If you guys don't know NHI, that's the National Health Insurance. That's basically our what do you call that? Our nationalized healthcare, or our healthcare for all that exists here in Taiwan. So yeah, I think Taiwan would be perfect. It's a lot cheaper to live here. Like you said, it's a lot cheaper to live here than in any place in North America. So yeah, your money that you make in America or Canada, if you brought it over here, it's going to go a lot farther than it would in North America. You could probably, live off your savings a lot longer here than you would over there. So yeah. Oh no, Kevin N says, no, I'm not Taiwanese. Oh, shame. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess, Kevin, you would have to, like I said, you would have to come here a few years before you wanted to retire, work, and get that APRC, get that permanent residency. Or, Kevin, you could always marry a Taiwanese girl, Why not? Taiwanese girls are pretty awesome. I approve. I should, right? I married one. She'd kill me if I said I didn't approve. What about medical? Like I said, Kevin, I think Taiwan's NHI, I think our healthcare that we have here in Taiwan is fantastic. I think it's excellent. It's served me well. It's served my wife well through 2 pregnancies. I've had a scooter accident. I've also had minor surgery here. Believe it or not, I've actually had minor elective surgery here. And it's served me well. I don't see why it wouldn't serve an older person well. I think older people here enjoy the same health care that we all do, a few? I think you mean the Taiwanese girls. Yeah, sure I do. Yeah, I know a few, of course, right? I live here. The girls here, they're good. I like Taiwanese girls a lot. I think you would too if you met one and gave her a chance and you guys got to know each other. Sure, Soul says, I have a British friend who wants to marry a Taiwanese or Hong Kong girl. Okay. Soul Drift, that sounds great. I say jayo to your friend. That means go, go, go. And, go for it. Get after it. That's great. As long as he's happy and the girl is happy, then that's great. Kevin says, so I need to purchase medical insurance in Taiwan. No, you don't. No, you don't. Taiwan is single-payer healthcare. We have nationalized healthcare. If you're a citizen here, you are entitled to national healthcare. And if you have a visa to work and live here, then you are entitled to national healthcare. So you do not need to purchase private medical insurance. You will be insured just by having a visa or by having citizenship. Halim John says, hello from Bangladesh. Hello, Halim. Yeah, cool, man. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the stream. Do you have any questions? Soldier says he wants to move there too, or Hong Kong. Okay. Soul Drift, I would tell your friend that it's much better to be here in Taiwan. Hong Kong has some of the highest prices, I think, in the world when it comes to like renting or buying property. I think your friend is going to be spending a ton of money if he wants to live in Hong Kong. But hey, that's just my personal opinion, right? Your friend should definitely do his research. Okay, so I think I'm going to get to another question here, guys. I think I covered that from Kevin and from the HVAC Genius on retirement. So let's move on. And let's see here. From Michael Hunt, this comes from. He says, I will be there in early August and looking for a monthly room around Taipei. If you have any good ideas for me, I would really appreciate it. Thanks. So, Michael Hunt, if you want to rent an apartment here in Taipei, then I would suggest that when you get here, you can stay at like a cheap hostel until you figure shit out, And what you should use here, which will make it really, really easy to find an apartment, is called 591. 591 is like a website that people use to post to post apartments for rent and houses for rent, and also for people to, you know, contact those people that are renting their places out and get a deal done, right? So look that up. 591 is the website you're going to want to use. You can use Google Translate to translate the website into English because it's all in Chinese. Besides that, Michael, you could use Facebook. There are a number of Facebook groups meant for foreigners here in Taiwan. And there's people on those groups that'll probably be willing to help you find a place to rent here. One thing I will say is, like, look, it's all about location with renting an apartment. You know, location, location, location. That's how real estate works. So the closer you are to an MRT station, the more expensive the apartment's going to be. The farther you are away from the MRT station, the cheaper it's going to be. The newer the building, the more expensive it's going to be. And the older the building, the cheaper it's going to be. Also, you can factor in an elevator. If the building has an elevator, it's going to be more expensive. If you have I think they're called guanli feis. If you have like a security guard guarding your building, it's going to be more expensive. So just keep that all in mind when you're trying to rent out an apartment. I hope that's helpful, Michael. Okay, so let's see. Kevin N. So I come to teach English and retire. I wouldn't need medical insurance. Again, Kevin, you don't need private medical insurance here in Taiwan. Our insurance is fantastic. If you have citizenship, you are covered. You get a health card, you are covered. If you have a visa to work here, or if you have permanent residency here, you get a health card. You are covered. You are covered, you are covered. You don't need private medical insurance. Halim John says, how are you? I feel good, Halim. I feel very good. I'm streaming and I'm talking to my viewers here and I'm excited about it. I'm having fun. And Halim says, I want to come to Taiwan for a job. Okay, I hope you can come here for a job. I don't know what the situation would be like for a Bangladeshi. You know, I don't know. Usually, if you want to teach English, you have to come from a country where English is a national language, you know. I don't know if Bangladesh... I don't know. Is English a national language in Bangladesh? I'm not sure. Is that the case? If it is, maybe you could get a visa here to teach English. Otherwise, maybe you could get a visa to work in... I don't know, maybe like, dare I say, a factory or maybe like a restaurant? I'm not sure, you know? It's really not something I've done a lot of research on. I wish I could help you more with that. Can you give me more information, Halim? Do you have any special qualifications? Do you have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in anything technical? Do you have engineering experience? Tell me more. Soul Drift says, I don't want to move out of America, but I want to see other places, Taiwan being one of them, and I prefer to stay single, but I wanted to marry someone outside of America. I prefer Okinawa. Okay. Well, hey man, you know, like I've been saying for years, and like you've been saying for years, please come to Taiwan. There's a lot of wonderful things to see. And I think if you like Taiwan, you're probably going to like Okinawa as well. I think our climates are very similar. I haven't been there, but I've heard a lot of friends who have been there say that Okinawa is very similar to Taiwan in terms of climate, you know. Let's see. Soldier says, I hear Okinawa has a beer called Orion. Have you had it? Yes, I have. I didn't really find it to be that special, to be honest. It's kind of like the Hite, which I'm going to take a swig of here. It's just kind of a lager. There's nothing really special about it. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not my favorite, you know. Let's see here. Kevin N., who I'm not sure if he's the other Kevin N. I was talking to, says, what's the best route for getting a teaching English in Taiwan for a Canadian? Okay, so Kevin, basically you could do what I do, or what I did rather, which was I came here, I tried with a certain large English teaching company. It didn't work out with them. I kind of had to back away from that. I stayed in a hostel, and I just kind of went out on my own, and I found a bushiban, which is like a cram school, a private cram school, and I just interviewed with a bunch of them, and eventually one of them gave me a job. If you have a bachelor's degree, and if you have what's called like a TEFL or a TOEFL certificate, which is like a special certificate that you get that kind of teaches you how to teach English abroad, teach English as a foreign language, then you should be okay. You should be able to get a visa, no problem. I would recommend that you kind of go out on your own. These companies that try to recruit people from overseas and bring them over here to Taiwan, I don't find them very reputable. I think they kind of take advantage of people who don't really understand how things work here in Taiwan. It's kind of fucked up. Jessica A from before, she says A because she's Canadian A. Let's see. Kevin N says same Kevin. Okay. Your icon changed, Kevin. Did you log into a different account? Kind of threw me off there, buddy. Soul Drift says Okinawa is #1 for my place I wanted to visit outside of America. Taiwan is #4. Okay. So check out Okinawa then. It's not that far from Taiwan. Just out of curiosity, man, what's number 2, 3? I just kind of curious there, Soul Drift. Fill me in, pal. Jessica says I'm going to live in Xini district in Taipei. What do you think about that? Any stereotypes from that area? Okay. Yeah, stereotypes. It's very expensive. Xini district, that's like a very, very new area. It's very modern. Everything there has been built in like the last couple of decades. I think technically, I could be wrong, but I think Taipei 101 is in Xini district. So I think that should be very, very expensive. Are you sure you want to live in that area? I think apartments there would be quite expensive. I'm not sure. But yeah, oh boy. Kevin says, I'm using a PC now instead of my phone. Okay, that explains it. Gotcha, pal. Soldier says, #2 is the mainland, a.k.a. Japan. Okay, so mainland Japan. Got it. And #3 is South Korea. Okay, cool. That's a good mix. That's a good mix. Korea, Japan, Taiwan. All right, good deal. I like that. That sounds legit, man. I approve. As you know, I haven't been to Japan yet or Korea, but I sure know my way around. I sure know my way around Taiwan, right? So, I'm kind of like you. I really do want to go to Japan. I really do want to check out Japan. There's a place called Rabbit Island that's like deserted, and they used to do like chemical or bomb testing there during like World War II or something, and now it's like solely inhabited by rabbits. So I kind of really want to check that out. I think that's close to Osaka. And then South Korea, I want to try the food, because as my friend who teaches tennis here, he's like a tennis coach, he says South Korea, that when it comes to food, they really understand cheese. So I really kind of want to check out Korea, because Korea sounds delicious. Yeah. Kevin says, do you think teaching English is a hectic job? Like, can I teach part-time so that I would have more free time? You know what, Kevin? Hectic, like, yeah, man, you're going to be tired. Like, even if you're only working, like, 3 or 4 or 5 teaching hours a day, you're going to be tired. Like, it takes a lot out of you. You're dealing with kids, young kids who have a lot of energy, and it takes a lot of energy from you to interact with them and teach them and keep them under control and focused. You know, it takes a lot out of you. But, yeah, you could get a part-time job as a single guy, live in a cheap apartment, and, you know, you could have plenty of free time if you only worked part-time, you know. Yeah, I think you would be just fine. No worries, pal. In fact, Kevin, you know what? Just because, like, you know, we're friends, I think, you know what, man? If you come over here anytime in, like, the near future, I think we could get a hold of each other. We could meet in person, and I wouldn't be opposed to helping you personally get a job. Maybe even with the school that that I teach at. So, no worries, pal. I got you. Halim John says, now time in Taiwan. Halim, the time now in Taiwan is 11:30 p.m. Jessica says, I'll be living with a family, so I don't need to pay rent. Awesome. Great. Free is the best price, Jessica. Free is the best. She says, have you been to a loving hut before? Jessica, what is what is that? What is a loving hut? I don't know what that means. Is that something? Is that like a sexual thing? What is that? Sounds weird. Please clarify. What is a loving hut? Okay, Soldier says, number 5, Hong Kong, Mongolia, Australia, New Zealand. Man, I'm with you on all of those, except for Hong Kong, because I've already been there. I'm kind of over Hong Kong. Mongolia just sounds badass. I've wanted to go there for a long time. And then, of course, Australia, and then New Zealand sounds badass, too. Especially New Zealand, because I've always wanted to go skydiving. And I've heard skydiving is legit in New Zealand. And then Soldier says, let's see. I said I wanted to join the military, but I'm not able to because of health. If I did, I hope I get stationed over there in one of those countries. Alright, man, look, don't worry about that. You don't need to be in the military. Those guys just use, you know, they just use people like they're disposable anyway, you know? You can still live a great life. You don't need to be a soldier to live a great life, man. No worries on that. No worries. Let's see, Kevin says, awesome, planning a trip to Taiwan and other places this November. Kevin, hit me up, man. Hit me up. I want to see you in November. I want to share a beer with you. I want to get you in one of my YouTube videos. You know, I think that would be legit. I want to meet a subscriber and get it on film. I've been waiting to do that for a long time. Let's see, Jessica says, it's a vegan fast food place that's pretty close to my house in Taiwan. Okay, I got it. Alright, nothing sexual at all. That came from me. That came from my dirty mind. Okay. Okay. Sorry. That makes me laugh. Okay, the loving hut. Awesome. Vegan food. Okay. Kevin N says, loving hut. Is that a hot pot place in Taiwan? Nope, it's vegan. And it's not sexual. Michael says, I will be there in August. Michael, what's up, dude? I answered your question not too long ago. If you can, try to rewind this video, rewind the live stream, and you'll see what I said. Soldier says, well, joining the Marines was something I always wanted to do. I wanted to be the first Marine in the family. I get it. I get it. My grandfather served in the military. I have respect for the military. One of my best friends in the whole world is a soldier right now. I understand, but, you know, some people can't do that. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's not your fault that you have, you know, something that keeps you out of that, man. It doesn't mean you're less of a person. You're still a good person. No worries, you know? Don't worry about that. It's okay. Jessica says, you can get hot pot there. Vegan hot pot. Okay. Well, that sounds legit. You know, hot pot is good. I don't even care if it's vegan. Like, just hot pot in general is good. When it comes to hot pot, it's all about the dip sauce. Whatever sauce you have for dipping the food in, that's what it's all about, you know? For me, personally, there's like this kind of like sesame sauce, and then there's this Taiwanese barbecue sauce that's called Bull's Head. And you mix that together, you put a little garlic in there, you put some coriander in there, you put a little bit of like hot chili oil, you mix that baby up, it's legit. It's really, really legit. It's so yummy. Let me get another question in here, guys. More Q&A. From the HVAC Genius. Are you still in the same apartment? Are you still in the same apartment you moved into on January 1st, 2017? HVAC Genius. Yes, I am. I have not moved. I was on a 2-year lease, and I'm still on the 2-year lease. That will end at the very end of this year. The final day of this year is when my lease ends. I'm still here. And he says, how much is the rent at this place? I'm not going to say that. That's weird. I can't give you an exact number on that. That's just too weird, man. I'll give you a ballpark range, though. Okay? So the rent I pay here every month for this apartment is probably around $600 American. So $600 USD. Around there. Something like that. So, yeah. It's a lot. It's the lion's share of the money I make every month. And so, just to be honest with you guys, when the lease is up on this place, we're probably going to move if the landlord doesn't agree to reduce the rent. So, yeah. Michael Hunt says, do you eat stinky tofu? 我不喜欢, I do not eat chou tofu. It is disgusting. It is... Ugh. Sorry. I know I just offended like a ton of people with that, but no, I don't. To be fair, I've tried it. I've tried it fried. I've tried the soup one. I've tried the barbecue one. I just can't get into it. I just don't like it. It's too much. I can't do it, Michael. I apologize to stinky tofu enthusiasts all over the world, but I can't do it. It's not for me. Jessica says, how far can you walk outside without dying from heat stroke? Okay. Jessica, you'll be fine. You're not going to die of heat stroke. Even if you're walking 20 minutes to your school, take a bottle of water with you. Stay hydrated. You can carry an umbrella. All the Taiwanese girls here do that to keep the sun off their skin so they can stay pasty white. And, yeah, just maybe walk under the overhangs of the building. My recommendation to you. Halim says, if you know, please tell me the Taiwan minimum wage. Halim, I believe the minimum wage here in Taiwan is around... I think it's around 150 NT dollars an hour, which is really, really low. But I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. You should really check that, really double check that. I'm not sure, but I think that's what it is, 150 NT dollars per hour. Kevin says, do rent usually include utilities like electric and water? For me, Kevin, no. I don't think that's usually included in the rent. I think it's usually separated. It is for me. I don't have to pay water charges because the amount that you have to pay for water here is so low that my landlord basically said, whatever, like, I'll just pay it myself. Like, I don't even care. You do have to pay electricity. Electricity can get quite expensive, especially in summer. In summer, Taipower, which is our national electricity provider, raises the rates to discourage people from using too much electricity. So the cost of electricity from like June to I think August or September can get crazy. Yeah. HVAC Genius says, thank you for the answers. It's the last day or two. Last day before you come to Taiwan? Wow, okay. Let's see, Michael says, me either. Okay, yeah. Stinky tofu is too much, man, right? HVAC Genius, disregard the last words. It's a misprint on voice text. Okay. Michael says, I love the no open container law. Me too, man. Freedom. Freedom, right? If I want to drink a beer outside, what's the issue? As long as I'm not doing violence or doing property damage, then what's the problem? Like, why can't I have a drink at the park? you know, or why can't I have a drink standing out in front of my apartment building? What's the big deal? Freedom. Freedom. People should be able to do what they like. Let's see. Souldrift says, well, if I can improve my health, I know I still can't join, but I may try to go for private security if it's possible. Do you know if they have that kind of work in Taiwan? I don't think so. I don't think we have private security contractors the way they have them in the United States. In the United States, they're... Oh, God. It's going to get controversial. But in the United States, when somebody says, like, private security contractor, that kind of means mercenary. You know, like, those guys get involved in, like, foreign conflicts. I don't think that's something that Taiwan has here, because Taiwan's not involved in any foreign conflicts. Taiwan is worried about its own self-defense, you know. Taiwan isn't doing foreign wars. Taiwan is getting ready to defend itself from when the Chinese say they're going to come over here and invade. So, yeah. Kevin says, how expensive is electricity? It is fucking expensive. That's what it is. Ballpark range in the non-summer months, it could be $2,000 or $3,000. That's how much we pay as a family. In summer, it could be anywhere from $6,000 to, at the worst, it was like 10,000 NT for a 2-month period. So yeah. Jessica says, how much can a $4,000 NT get me? It's my monthly allowance. Jessica, if that's just your monthly allowance for food, I think you're going to be fine. You can kind of ration that out to about 1,000 NT a week. You should be fine. You're just a single person. I don't see why you couldn't make that work. I imagine the people that you're living with are also going to be providing you with food. I don't know. Tell me more. Rocky Mountain, Nakota. Really, Taiwan is going to get invaded. No, it's not. No, it's not, dude. It's not going to get invaded. The invasion is not imminent. What I meant was just that China in the past said that they might invade in the future if Taiwan decides to pursue formal independence. And right now, Taiwan is not pursuing formal independence. Despite what Beijing says, our current president is not a hardliner, and she is not going for independence, and she is not stoking tensions. In fact, it's the opposite. She wants to maintain the status quo. She wants to keep everything calm. She doesn't want a military invasion. She doesn't want any fighting whatsoever. Michael says, have you ever won anything from the receipt lottery? Yes, I have. We just won $600 this last go-around. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I love the receipt lottery. Kevin says, did you say $10,000 a month for electricity? Yeah. There was one time last year when we were living in this apartment for the 2-month period, because they always combine 2 months together, where the electricity cost was 10,000 NT, which was fucking expensive. Insane. Let's see, Soldier says, well, I was talking about Taiwanese companies hiring security contractors or Americans in Taiwan who request security. So, let me get this straight. So, like, if a company here just wanted, like, private security guards outside their building or something? Is that what you mean? Because if so, yeah, we have those, but I don't think they have anybody working there who isn't Taiwanese. I don't think that's I don't think that's something that a foreigner could really get into. I think the language barrier would be too much. Kevin says, like, you had the AC on 24/7. We had it on a lot. We had the aircon on a lot, and we also ran that with 2 dehumidifiers, which was a huge mistake because those suck a lot of power. And we just didn't play it right. Like, we left a lot of doors open. And so now what we're doing is we're only turning on the dehumidifiers when it gets really wet and really humid. And now we're closing a lot of doors, so we only have to air condition one room as opposed to like 5 rooms. So we're trying to be a lot more smart about it, and we're trying to like turn off everything when we leave the house, like absolutely everything. You know, we're trying to be smarter about it. Soldier says, yeah, something like that. Yeah, but man, like I said, Soul Drift, I just think the language barrier would be too much, my friend. Yeah. Let's see here. Kevin says, in that case, it's about the same in Toronto as electricity is pretty expensive here too. Yeah, I know. I've heard that Canada is dealing with some issues right now with electricity costs, and I think Ontario, I think it's getting like stupid expensive there, from what I hear. Michael Hunt, what's your thoughts on Taiwanese drivers? My thoughts on Taiwanese drivers are they're fucking insane. They drive like maniacs. Like they just have no regard for the law. They just do whatever's most convenient. And it's just completely dangerous and reckless, and it pisses me off, but and I've ranted about it a lot of times before, but there's nothing I can do about it. Unfortunately. I hope slowly over time, like the driving culture is going to change, and people are going to realize that even though it might be a pain in the ass to wait at the red light and to not do illegal U-turns, that it saves lives, and it's a good idea to follow the law when you're driving, like for God's sake, you know. Here, let me finish up this Q&A, guys, and then there's a few other things that I kind of want to speak about. Okay, so from Gaylord McGillicuddy, that's actually his screen name, Gaylord McGillicuddy. He said, moving to Taiwan in July or August, and I just wanted your opinion on the best/cheapest way to exchange US dollars for NT. I'll be transferring several thousand US dollars, and I'm wondering if I should just pull money out of an ATM or wire myself money through Western Union or MoneyGram. I've heard the airport will give me the worst rates/most fees. Any advice would be appreciated. And so what I want to say to Mr. Gaylord McGillicuddy is this. I think your best bet would be to change some US dollars to NT dollars at a local bank in the States. You could then change the rest at a local bank here in Taiwan, because I do feel like the exchange rates at the airport kind of give you a raw deal. And, yeah, like you just don't get the most bang for your buck, you know what I'm saying? And I want to caution you, though, like on how much cash you carry with you through customs and immigration. Look, there's a limit on the amount, and if you go over it, the authorities will seize your money at the airport, and they won't give it back. So I think you can't bring in more than 60,000 NT dollars, and for US dollars, I think you can't go over like 10,000 US dollars or something like that. Don't ask me why those figures are what they are, but that's just what I remember from reading some news articles a while back. You know, you could draw money out of an ATM, but you're going to need a credit card with a chip and a PIN number. You will get charged for that, though, and I'm not sure how much, like off the top of my head, how much you're going to get charged from that ATM fee, because it's really only something I do like maybe once a year at most. And look, lastly, my experience with Western Union, the company that transfers money overseas, has been overwhelmingly negative. They always kind of like nitpick me and give me trouble on how I write my name and how I write my mother or father's name, and it's bullshit. And it's just really, really irritating. And you know what? They according to my father, Western Union charges a lot of money to transfer money here to Taiwan. So yeah, that's kind of like my advice to you on money, Gaylord McGillicuddy. Okay, so that wraps up the Q&A. Let me see what you guys are saying, and then there's 2 more things I want to rant about. Let me get a drink of beer. see, Jessica says, what clothes do you recommend to bring? It's going to be hot, so I want to bring a lot of shorts, but I also know there are mosquitoes and cultural stuff. Jessica, you should definitely bring shorts. It's hot as hell here. You can bring skirts, because you're a girl and it's hot as hell here. Mosquitoes, just use mosquito spray, you know. Obviously, use sunscreen. You want to protect your skin. You don't want to get skin cancer. Culturally, people, they're not going to give you a lot of shit on showing a lot of leg. I think if you get shit for wearing clothes, it's going to be about showing your boobs. Like if you wear like a really like low-cut shirt, I think that's probably where you're going to get, you know, called out on that maybe. People aren't that conservative here from what I've seen about the way people dress. That's not really something that people get a lot of crap over from what I've seen. I could be wrong. I'm not a girl. I don't really know what girls go through when it comes to clothing. You know, me personally, I would say dress however you like. Freedom. HVAC Genius says, Central Florida's summer months, AC on 78 degrees Fahrenheit to keep 1,400 square feet, a little cool, around 325 USD per month. Okay, it's kind of expensive, but that's America. Soul Drift says, seems like the Philippines, only one doing it to fight the NPA militants. If I get that kind of work, I don't want to work in Ukraine or South Africa. I prefer somewhere in East Asia. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I haven't really kept up with that. I don't know what's going on with the Philippines right now. I don't know. Not really the right guy to comment on that. Michael Hunt says, can't have any zeros in your PIN number. Really? Why not? I've never heard of that. Although like I said, I don't really use credit cards that much. Soldier says, forgive me if I'm talking too much about it. No, that's fine. It's fine. You can talk about whatever you want. Freedom. Okay, so two other things I wanted to talk about. And they were basically mental health. So look, Taiwan's kind of having an issue right now. There's been like a little flare-up of incidents lately that make me want to speak out about the issue of mental health. So a couple of weeks ago, we had a guy who appeared to be either mentally ill or mentally disabled riding on the MRT here in Taipei. And there was a mother who had parked her stroller with her two little children next to this man. And out of nowhere, in the middle of, you know, riding the MRT, this grown man reached out and he started smacking this little child. This child was like 4 or 5 years old. And of course people were horrified, you know, and the mother started screaming at him and she smacked him. And you know, people were kind of like tripping over themselves on Facebook and trying to like excuse it like, oh, the weather is hot and that could have provoked him, and oh, he seems mentally ill, oh, poor man. And that kind of pissed me off, you know, like, I don't have, like, come on, man, the sympathy, your first place is sympathy for the man who smacked this child. Like, your first reaction is to make excuses for this man who smacked this child. Like, I understand he might have been mentally disabled or whatever, but really, your first sympathy should be for the child who got, you know, assaulted. Like, that's where your sympathy should be. Like, what in the ever-living hell, you know? Come on, right? And then also, secondly, if this man is mentally ill or mentally disabled, why has he been allowed to just go out, leave the house, go out and wander around the city getting into trouble? That's insanity. Like, whoever this man's family is are like derelict in their duty for protecting and providing for him and taking care of him. Like, you need to step up. Like, letting him run around outside, he's going to get into trouble. He could get hurt. He could hurt other people. He could get killed. You know, like, this is insanity. you know? And then also, the second other thing that really made it clear to me that mental health is becoming a bigger issue here in Taiwan is that we recently had a little 5-year-old girl get kidnapped at, I think it was at a department store. An elderly, mentally disabled woman snatched her up when her mother wasn't looking, carried her off to her apartment somewhere in the city, and then attempted to give her a haircut to try to like change her identity. And luckily the police tracked her through security cameras, busted down her door, and like, you know, recovered this little girl and got her back to her mom and her family, thanks God, you know. She wasn't harmed, but it's insane. Again, why, whoever the family of this mentally disabled woman is, what are you thinking? How could you let her loose? Like, how could you just let her be out there getting into trouble like this? If she has an issue, you should be getting her help. You have to get these people help. You can't just ignore these people who have mental issues and let them go free, let them loose to run around the city. They have to get help. It's insane. Like, mental health it's like a big freaking deal. And I know that in Taiwan, that people are afraid to lose face. They're afraid to lose their status by admitting that there might be a problem, that by admitting that there might be an issue, right? They're afraid to like to bring shame on themselves or bring shame on their family. But you know what? The real shame is going to come when your mentally ill relative gets into trouble, gets thrown into prison, or gets killed by a police officer or by someone who's, you know, fighting back against them, defending against them because they had a violent outburst, okay? My message to the families of these people and to all of Taiwan is treat mental health seriously. Take it seriously. Put aside all this stuff about face and about, you know, shame. Put all that aside. This is way more important than that. You can't just ignore this or pretend it doesn't exist. You got to take it seriously. To the government of Taiwan, you have to take mental health seriously. You can't ignore this shit. It's a big freaking deal, man. It's a big deal. Like, you just... Please take it seriously. Please. Please, please, please. Mental health matters. Mental health matters. Okay, rant over. Sorry, guys. My little rant. I get worked up about that stuff, you know? I have kids. When I see a kid getting assaulted, a young child getting assaulted on a video in the MRT, it gets my blood boiling, you know? Like, I don't like to see that. It's messed up. Alright, let me check the live stream here. Let's see what people are saying here. Okay. Okay, so Gaylord McGillicuddy says, "Hey Brian, I took a job offer from Hess." Am I fucking insane? Gaylord McGillicuddy, my friend, I wish you the best of luck, but to be honest with you, I've heard quite a lot of negative things about Hess. Yeah. Look, if you do have trouble, then you can always leave them. You can always try to get another job here. There's a lot of other options besides Hess. I'm not saying it's going to go wrong. I'm just saying it might go wrong. Don't freak out. There's always a way out. Don't let them bully you. Don't let them withhold your passport, and don't let them withhold your wages, because that is illegal. They cannot do that. All right? Just stand up for yourself if they try something. Be careful, okay? My best advice. Kevin says, didn't something like that happen to a little girl in Taiwan some years ago? I think the guy killed the girl. Yes, Kevin, there was a mentally ill man who decapitated a little girl. It was really gruesome. It was awful. And as a matter of fact, that recently appeared in the news. And they are thinking about sentencing him to death because the father of the little girl who was decapitated is like, no, I don't accept your apologies. Like, go to hell. Like, I want you to die. Yeah, it's really sad. That was messed up. See, mental health matters. It matters a lot. Gaylord McGillicuddy, I've heard some horror stories, but it seems like a good way to get my foot in the Taiwan door. Yeah, like I said, be careful with Hess. Michael Hunt says, remember the kid who shot people on the MRT? No, I remember the guy who stabbed people on the MRT. As a matter of fact, Michael, I've never mentioned it because I'm not the attention-seeking type of person, but I actually was on that exact train when the guy did the stabbing spree at Jiangzitui Station. I was on that train. It was horrifying. That was one of the few times in my life when I really felt absolute terror, and I felt what it was like to want to run for your life, and what it felt like to maybe, you know, be in a situation that you might not get out of. Be in a situation where you felt like you might die, like you might get killed. It was horrifying. I remember being rushed at by a mob of people who were screaming and who were drenched in blood, and it was terrifying. It was awful. And that just goes back to my point. Mental health matters. Let's see. Lawrence says, are you talking about yo something? Sorry, man. My Chinese is good, but it's not that good. Yo something. Can you translate that to me into English, please? Jessica says, if he's a threat to society, he should be in a mental hospital. Jessica, I totally agree. The government needs to step up. They need to start putting people who are ill in facilities where they can get the treatment they need. You know, they really do. She also says it should be a legal requirement for these people to be put in mental hospitals. It should be more shameful to let your family members wreak havoc on society. Yes, 100% agree, 100%. That's the real where shame really comes from, is letting people get into trouble and letting people hurt other people. That's real shame. Not admitting there's a problem, you know. The real shame is ignoring. The real shame is trying to pretend that, you know, nothing is wrong when there very clearly is a problem. Lawrence says, the system is broken and it's a good business like the American privatized jails. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Soul Drift, I hope it doesn't get bad to where vigilantes spring up. Soul Drift, unfortunately, vigilantes have sprung up recently in Taiwan. I wouldn't say that they're related directly to mental health issues, but there actually have been a few vigilante attacks recently against people who did sexual assault and against a guy who they thought had killed one of their brothers. There was some gangsters who shot a man to death while he was driving in his car down in Pingdong County. But yeah, it's horrible. Vigilantism, not good. Don't do vigilante attacks. Don't do that. Rocky Mountain, Dakota. I experienced a similar event about 2 years ago. Me and my buddy got stuck by a man at the MRT in Kaohsiung. We ran into security guard station. The guard said that he was mentally ill. See? That's what I'm talking about, man. This shit should not be happening. That's not right. You shouldn't feel terror. No one should feel terror. No one should feel like they're going to die just because they're riding on the train to go home or to go to work. That's not right, you know. That is so wrong. Soldier says, as much as I love to read Punisher comics, I think it would be a shame if Taiwan comes to that. Yeah, that's... Comic books are comic books, right? Nothing wrong with comic books, but yeah, vigilantism in real life, vigilantism is not right, man. That's not right. You have to let the law enforcement do their jobs, you know. Lawrence says, shall something bow? Shall something something? I'm not sure. Lawrence, I'm sorry, I can't read that. I don't know what that means. Lawrence, do you know how to write in pinyin? Can you try to write that in Chinese, but write that with ABCs? Write that with the Latin alphabet, because then maybe I have a chance to read it. I'm sorry. Kevin says, little light bulb. Yes, that's right. Little light bulb was the little girl who was decapitated. That was very, very tragic. She was a beautiful little girl who had her whole life ahead of her, and this psycho grabbed her up away from her mom when she was riding on her tricycle down the sidewalk, and he slashed her throat, and it was awful. Death sentence is not an effective deterrent for mentally ill disorders. It's not going to work. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not. I don't believe in the death penalty. That I'm not saying that because I think we should go soft on this guy who killed the little girl. But yeah, I don't believe in the death penalty. That's a long, drawn-out conversation. I don't want to get into that, but yeah, it's not because I don't feel like people shouldn't be punished for doing things like that guy did to the little girl. It's that I think that you have to protect people who have been wrongly accused and who have been wrongly imprisoned. That's happened a lot. So in a nutshell, yeah, death penalty not good, and it's not a good deterrent. It's just not a good idea. HVAC says some of the school shooters in the USA had mental problems, and family did not have a clue the shooter had mental issues. Yeah, obviously, right? If you go on a shooting spree, obviously something's wrong with you, very clearly. And I don't know every situation, but to be honest with you, HVAC, I don't believe that. I don't believe. How do you not recognize that somebody has a mental issue on that level? Like, if you get to the level when you're like shooting up a school, like, I really find it hard to believe that you wouldn't notice that something's wrong with your family member. You know, when they get to that level, you know, I don't buy it. You know, I don't buy it. I don't buy that the mom or dad of these young kids who go on these shooting sprees don't notice that shit. I just think that they're trying to like look the other way or ignore it or be like, oh, he's just growing up and he's going through a phase. I don't buy it. Jessica says it should be a deterrent for the family to put their mentally ill family members in hospital or take care of them so they don't face the shame of a death sentence. Yeah, yes, totally agree, 100%. Soldier says, I love the idea of right-wing vigilante justice, vendetta, but I really want to avoid that as much as possible. Yeah, look, in real life, not good. Yeah, not good. Jessica says, Xiao Dun Pao. I don't know what Xiao Dun Pao is. Thank you for the opinion, Jessica, but I don't know what that is. Is that a dumpling or something? It sounds like a dumpling, to be honest. Not sure. Not sure what that is. Can somebody Google that for me? Can somebody Google Xiao Dun Pao? Is that the little girl's name? Oh, that must be right. Okay, dun, like light, like dun, like light. Oh, the little girl. Okay, I got it. Little light bulb. Okay. Yeah, right. I got it now. Got it, guys. Okay. Let's see. Soldier says, Wyatt Earp, famous American lawman. Does Taiwan have any police officers like him that you know of? No, Soldier. Unfortunately, I don't know a lot of really great police officers here in Taiwan. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed with the police here in Taiwan, to be honest with you. It's a long story, but a few years back, me and my wife kind of got involved with a woman who was being attacked by her husband. There was like a violent domestic dispute that went down, and me and my wife kind of intervened at the tail end of this incident, and we tried to get the police to come, and they took freaking forever to get there, and they just disappointed me so much. Like, they just didn't even take it seriously. They didn't want to write a report. They didn't want to go and catch the guy who had violently assaulted his wife and who had assaulted his son. He had poured hot soup on his son's hands, like scalding hot soup. He had poured it all over the little boy's hands. And he had beat his wife, and he had caused property damage, and it was bad. And I was just really disappointed with them. Really disappointed. Yeah. Let's see. Jessica says you should get Para Chinese pop-up dictionary on your browser. It automatically translates things for you with pinyin and everything. You just hover your mouse over a word. Okay, I'll look into that. I'll look into that. Pura Chinese pop-up. Yeah, just so anybody who wants to know about that, one thing I would recommend for your smartphone, you can get a dictionary, a really great Chinese to English dictionary app for your smartphone called Pleco. That's Pleco, Pleco. It's got a blue icon with a fish. That is an awesome, awesome Chinese to English dictionary for your smartphone. So if you want to learn Chinese, then I recommend downloading that. It has a thing where you can type in the Latin alphabet and get Chinese characters. It has a thing where you can type in BPMF, which is like the alphabet that people here in Taiwan use to type Chinese words. And it also has like a handwriting thing. You can write, actually with your finger, you can write the Chinese character, and you can use that to help translate. It's a great app. So Pleco, I recommend that. Download that for your smartphone. Alright guys, so here, last thing that I want to talk about before I end this, because we're getting over the 1 hour mark here, is this. And let me see if I can kind of add this to my screen here. I want to show you guys something. I think it's this. I think it's image. Let me add an existing image. Make source visible. No. How do you do this? Hold on. Let me see if I can add something here. I'm kind of trying to show you guys a picture here. Let's see here. Browser, display capture, image, media source. Create a new one. Oh, how do you do that? I forgot. There's a way you can put pictures on here, but I forgot how you do it. This? No, not that. Okay. Bloody hell, how do you do this? Audio browser. No. Image. It must be image, right? It's gotta be image. Okay. Create a new one. Image. Okay, here we go. Hold on, guys. Just looking for something I want to show you because it's related to the final topic I want to talk about. Okay, here we go. Last thing I want to talk about for the live stream here is this. This little turd burglar right here. Over here. Here. Over here. Okay. Last thing I want to talk about is this little turd burglar right here. This is a Taiwanese boy. His parents are famous. They are entertainers here in Taiwan. They are very rich. This is their son. He's a spoiled brat, and he's a little turd burglar. He was going to school in the United States. His parents were paying for that. And apparently he thought it was a cool idea to stockpile like weapons and stuff, if I remember right. In fact, I think he also had ammunition. I think he had bullets with him. I think these bullets, in fact, in this image I have for you. And he made threats that he was going to shoot up his high school in the United States. Like he made it sound like there was going to be like an attack on the school, that he was going to carry out a school shooting. Now, if you understand the current climate in the United States with school shootings and how crazy shit is getting, then you know that this is unacceptable. Like, in this day and age, you make threats like that, that's a serious business, alright? Very, very serious business. And I'm kind of upset, and here's why I'm upset. Because instead of this kid being put into prison or jail, which is where he belongs, you need to get punished for this shit. The U.S. government is going to deport him. They're just going to deport him. And it's like, really? So you're going to deport him back to Taiwan, where his punishment will be nothing. Once he gets here, there's not going to be any punishment at all. He'll just hang out with mommy and daddy, and because mommy and daddy are rich, he'll just, hang out here and enjoy a posh lifestyle. And even though he fucked up big time, what's the big deal? Mommy and daddy are rich, and they'll pay to have him go to school here. And it's like he's getting off scot-free for making these very, very serious threats. To shoot up a school, which is a big, like I said, it's a big deal in America right now to be talking like this, in our current climate in America. Like, I'm really kind of disappointed that we're going to deport him. You're making a big mistake. It's like in high school when they give out suspensions, like when you give out an out-of-school suspension. Like, are you stupid? Like, that's not a punishment. You're giving the kid a free vacation. You're telling the kid that he's not allowed to come to school. That's a gift. He doesn't want to come to school. You're giving him a vacation, dummy. Come on. What are you doing here? You're letting him go. That's not a punishment. Deporting him is not a punishment. Punishment would be putting him in jail and making him serve. Like, I'm not saying he should be in there for life. Obviously, he didn't actually do the attack. And I'm not saying he should even be in there for years. But he should be in there for some amount of time. He needs to be punished, for God's sake. This stuff is serious, and I think the American government should take it seriously. And we should deal with it seriously. And we should show young kids out there who are teens that you don't do this. You don't pull this shit right now. You don't even think about making a threat like this nowadays. Don't even think about it. This is incredibly, incredibly serious. Don't even think about it. Don't even entertain the idea. No. 100% no. Kid needs to be punished. It's ridiculous. He's a spoiled little brat. He's a piece of shit. His parents are too. And yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Tell me what you think. And let me delete this little turd from my screen. I just wanted to bring that up because it kind of pissed me off. Because, it's like a spoiled brat and his parents are like paying to get a lawyer, and the lawyer got him off, and now he's going to be deported instead of being really punished. Ridiculous. Okay. Bye, turd burglar. Let's see here. What do we got? Blah, 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 blah. Let's see here. Jessica says, haha, turd burglar. Okay. Kevin N says, AK ammo. Yeah, I don't know if that was AK ammo. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. The United States has, we have a lot of guns, and I'm sure there are people out there with AK-47s or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised. Soldier says, darkness imprisoning me. All that I see, absolute horror. I cannot live. I cannot die. Trapped in myself, body, my holding cell. Landmine has taken my sight, taken my speech, taken my hearing, taken my arms, something, something. Oh, okay, Metallica. One by Metallica, 1988. Okay, I was going to say, Soldier, what is that? Is that like a poem? All right. Kevin N says, one. Jessica says, oh no, he probably thought the threats were a joke. That's the thing. Look, it's not a joke. In 2018 in America, school shootings are no joke. Like, it's incredibly, incredibly serious. We seem to have a shooting about every month in America, and that's unacceptable. And yeah, it should be dealt with extremely severely. And honestly, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's upset about this. This kid, since he unfortunately is Taiwanese, kind of makes people think poorly of Taiwan, think poorly of Taiwanese people. I'm sure Taiwan is embarrassed to call them one of their own, or to call him one of their own, rather. She says, hopefully there are at least some social ramifications. Yeah, look, the only solace that I take is that because everybody knows he's a turd burglar, he probably won't be getting a job, and he probably won't have very many friends here in Taiwan. Soldier says, we had in school ones growing up in Saturday schools. We had what? You guys had school shooter people who threatened to do school shootings, or you had school suspensions, or what? Kevin says, deported to where? Kevin, he's Taiwanese. He's going to be deported back here to Taiwan from the United States. Soldier says it was AK ammo. I have an AK. Okay. Well, now we know that's not good. I don't want a crazy psycho kid with access to a Kalashnikov. I think we can all agree that's pretty horrible, and he shouldn't have that. Let's see, Jessica says, how can he get so much ammo and guns when he's probably a student, on a student visa, and he's just a teenager? Well, Jessica, that's the problem, is in America, in my opinion, it's just way too easy to get your hands on this stuff. I think it should be a lot more difficult. I don't want to ban guns, I don't want to ban ammo, but I think it should be really, really difficult, especially if you're a child. And by child, I mean anyone under 18 years old, you know, definitely. Gaylord McGillicuddy says, Jessica, there's a waiting period for buying weapons, but I don't think there are many restrictions on buying ammo. Okay, well, that makes sense. You know, I think there should be a lot more. I don't think you should even be allowed to buy ammo if you're under 18. Just my personal opinion there. Soul says, I have the Yugoslavian model. Okay. Thank you for that info, Soul. I trust you will be a responsible gun owner. I trust you would not want to hurt anybody. You know, I think it really, really sucks for people who are responsible gun owners who haven't done anything wrong. I think it really sucks that there are these psycho losers out here with mental health issues that take these guns and create wreak havoc and create misery for everyone. And, you know, it makes people think really poorly about guns and gun owners and about all that stuff. I think it really sucks. I think you probably hate this guy as much as I do, right? Kevin says, oh, back to Taiwan. And Soldier says, in-school suspension is what I mean. Okay, see, that's real punishment, though. Like, in-school suspension is punishment. Like, out-of-school suspension is what I was talking about, and if you ask me, that's just stupid. Like, that's not a punishment. That's called a vacation. Kevin says, ammo and guns, easy. Kind of easy in Canada, too. Yeah? Well, yeah, that's not good. Not good, not good. Soldier says, actually, it became harder to get a gun in the past few years. And he says, no, I would not do such a thing. Yeah, of course not. Of course not, right? Like, I'm not one of those guys who says everybody who owns a gun is going to hurt people. Of course not. You know, and I, like I said before, I trust that you hate these guys who do these violent things as much as I do. They reflect badly. They make us all look bad. You know. Jessica says, not really. In Canada, there's a long process to assess mental health as well. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure Canada's more strict with guns than the United States. You know. Kevin says, no, there is not. Trust me. Okay, I don't know. Kevin, you and Jessica can have this debate. I'm not Canadian, and I really don't know, so you two Canadian people can debate that. I'm going to stay out of that. Gaylord McGillicuddy, how prevalent is Citibank in Taiwan? I use a shitty regional bank here, and I'm thinking of switching to Citi because I've heard they have ATMs in Taiwan. Yes, they do have ATMs here in Taiwan. Citibank is here in Taipei. Gaylord McGillicuddy, I know of a branch that I personally tried to open up an account with in Da'an District, which is in Taipei City. It is here. I don't know where the closest one to my house is. I'm sure I could find one, if not here in my district, maybe in the next district or the next one over. Yeah. You do have to have quite a bit of money, though, to have an account with Citi in Taiwan. They don't even let you open an account if you have under a certain amount. Yeah, that's why, personally, we bank, me and my wife bank here primarily, we bank with the post office. We have a post office bank account. Let's see, Jessica says Dan is where Another exchange student is going. She's in my same school. She's from Chile. Cool. Jessica, I used to live in Da'an district. I used to live with my father-in-law until he got to be too much for me to bear. Yeah, long story. Can you give me a ballpark figure on that amount? Gaylord McGillicuddy, I think the amount of money, if I remember correctly, it might have been 100,000 NT, maybe 100,000 NT dollars to do that, possibly. I can't remember. I'm sorry that I can't remember, but I think that's it. I think it's 100,000 NT to do that. So yeah. Alright guys, well hey, it's about an hour and 20 minutes here, so I think I'm going to try to wrap it up. So if you guys have any more questions, go ahead and drop them there in the comments. Looks like I have about 7 people watching at the moment. I haven't really been keeping track of that. Yeah, cool. Any last questions, guys? What do you want to know before I sign off? Lord McGillicuddy says, just curious. Awesome. Thanks, man. Okay, yeah, no worries. No problem. Soldier says, I know I asked before, but I forgot. Is being at the height of 6'6", would I stick out too much? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, that's not that. I mean, that's tall for Taiwan, but it's not like super tall. Like it's not like Michael Jordan or like Shaq tall, right? You're not like Shaquille O'Neal tall, you know. Yeah, it's not that weird. You're not gonna be having to like duck under doorways or anything. I think you'll be okay. Jessica says, I'm a 5'6" female. I wonder how tall I would be compared to other high school girls. Jessica, I think you'd be about average. Me, personally, I'm about 5'9", about 5'9 and a half. I come to about the same height as many other men here in Taiwan, and I'm about a head taller than many other women here in Taiwan. Just to give people like an idea of kind of height. I think 5'9" is about where I am. I think that's about, you know, where guys are in general. I think girls tend to be a little shorter, you know, in Taiwan. Taiwan people just aren't as tall as the United States. In the United States, I feel pretty short. In Taiwan, I'm not that short. So, yeah. Mariano Glass says, thanks for all the information. Hope there's another live video soon. Yeah, sure. Maybe in another couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Soldier says, like, are the beds normal? Good. Yeah. I'm on my bed right now. I think it's pretty good. Mattresses can be a little firm here in Taiwan, but should be alright. It's that I hear in East Asia things are smaller. Yeah, no, you can find a good mattress. The mattress I'm on is bigger than me. You should be fine. I think you should definitely be fine. People don't sleep, you know, perfectly all straight. You know, you should be fine. You're not. I don't think you're gonna have your legs hanging off the mattress. I think you'll be fine, Soldier. Don't worry. Mariano says I'm 6'2". Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's too crazy. There are people that are taller than me here in Taiwan. There are Taiwanese men who are taller than me here in Taiwan. Gaylord McGillicuddy liking the live streams. Hopefully I'll be in Taiwan for the next one. Woo! That would be awesome, dude. Gaylord McGillicuddy, please, man. If you or Kevin N ever get here to Taiwan, then let me know, man. I would love to have both of you guys in a video, whether it be a live stream or whether it be something that I record and publish later. I mean, I would love to have some subscribers in my videos. Let's drink a beer together. Let's try some food together on camera. I think that'd be wonderful. I think it'd be great. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know when you get here. Soldier says, Koreans, I hear, are the tallest in Asia. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. Tallest where I come from, in SoCal, in terms of Asians, were the Koreans. I remember a bunch of like Korean kids being pretty tall in my high school. So yeah. Okay, so here, last thing. Jessica says, hopefully I can prepare questions before the next live stream. These are so few and far between that I forget. Thanks for doing them. Yeah, look, Jessica, no worries. Before I do live streams, I always put out a notification that they're going to be coming within a week or 2 weeks' time. So, yeah, don't worry about it. No worries. Mariano says late August, I guess, for a beer or two. Mariano, that's awesome. If you get here in August, let me know. I'd be more than happy to share a beer with you. You're German, right? So a German beer. I'm sure we can get our hands on some. Okay, last two things, guys. Last two things, because I got to call it quits. Kevin says, yeah, for sure, if I can drop by Taipei this time. And last thing, Gaylord McGillicuddy says, July 11th, Brian. I have a few days of free time before training. I'll try to hit you up. And, yeah. Awesome. I'll see you there, pal. And Mariana says, yes, German beer. Alright, guys. Well, thanks very much. Thanks for all the questions, for all the people who gave me questions beforehand, and for the questions here in the live stream. Thank you for participating. Thank you for chatting with me. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun too. I hope you found the topics that I wanted to speak about to be interesting, even though they were a little bit dark. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.